Hi, thought I'd just do a quick caption tutorial on Descript and show you how to get a different design style for each speaker. So if you've got a podcast like we have, the Meat Puppets podcast, usually it's just me and Paul, but sometimes we have a guest. And when we do videos based on that, it's always nice to have a different design style per speaker for captions. So I thought I would take you through that. We've got a little tutorial project set up here in Descript. So this area is where your transcription is. This will show you what we end up doing visually. And then down here, you have your audio. So just so you understand how that ties together, I'm just going to give this a little play. So, Andy. Hello, Andy. So I was doing a little bit of digging on you because I thought we've got a guest on. We've got a guest on, Paul.
We do have.
Yep. So you can see how it knows where we're up to in the audio. And you can see that down here as well. This is where the words are lined up with the audio. So what we want to do is add in some captions. There are various ways of doing it, but I find the simplest is if you just come up to this here, this T, and if you click on that and you come down to captions, add captions. And when I click this, you will see, okay, so it's put in some captions and it's put in this blue bar here represents what it's doing in video. So you just have one big long bar that says captions. And what this does is dynamically turn the voice into text and put it on screen. So we're going to give this a little bit of a play from the beginning. Here we go. So, Andy. Hello, Andy. So I was doing a little bit of digging on you because I thought we've got a guest on. We've got a guest on, Paul.
We do have a guest on, yeah.
I thought we've got a bloody guest on. Now, as you can see, when it's in a standard way like this, it gets pretty confusing if you're just watching visually who's talking. And, you know, a lot of the time these videos on YouTube or on social media autoplay. So without the benefit of the audio, you don't know who's speaking. So that's what we're going to try and solve here. So I'm going to go back up to the little text thing at the top. And this time I'm going to select text. And I'm just going to click on that. And okay, so now that's put in a little box that says text. We've got another blue bar here. And you can see this one's called title. So if I click on there, what you have up in the right-hand side here is the settings for what you've selected. So we've selected the blue bar there, and it's given us the settings for this up here. So you have some options for these settings. So I'm just going to click here. The thing I want to select here is speaker. So I'm going to select that now. You'll see that's instantly changed to Paul Billington. And it's arranging itself to the size of the box. So if I just stretch the box out a little bit, you'll see it arranges it differently. So now I'm going to give it another play. So I've got this layer in here, which is set to speaker. And I've got this layer here, which is set to captions. So let's give that a little play. So, Andy. Hello, Andy. So I was doing a little bit of digging on you because I thought we've got a guest on. We've got a guest on, Paul.
We do have a guest on, yeah.
I thought we've got a bloody guest on.
You've got to do that right now.
So you have to do a little bit of research. And you see this starts to become a little bit clearer. This layer here, which has got the speaker, is changing depending who's speaking. And this is why it's really important that you have your speakers named correctly if you're going to do something like this. So that's a little bit clearer, but it's not quite as clear as I'd like it to be. You might notice with the text here, we've got a little problem. You see there on the W, we do have a little bit of capitalization issue. And we've also got it on, you see, so there. And I could go through the entire transcript and sort out my capitalization, but I'm a little bit lazy. So what I tend to do is change my font. So I can either click on the bar down here or just click on the bit in the video window there. I'm just going to change my font. And I'm going to change to a font which is all capitals. This feels a little bit more YouTubey, a little bit more social media, a little bit more in your face, but it has the added thing of getting rid of any of your capitalization issues. So I'm just going to hit play again so you can see what that looks like. So, Andy. Hello, Andy. So I was doing a little bit of digging on you because I thought we've got a guest on. We've got a guest on, Paul.
We do have a guest on, yeah.
I thought we've got a bloody guest on.
You've got to do that right now.
So you have to do a little bit of research for you get. So that feels a little bit better to me now. I'm going to do the same with my speaker here. So do the same thing. Click on the box or click on the layer and change that to Babas. And I'm just going to rearrange this a little bit. So I'm going to move this down here so we can see who's talking. And let's hit play there.
Now, I'm not like Andy, so I'm going to turn my camera off so I don't distract myself.
Okay. Andy likes looking at himself. I'm sorry, Andy. So this is starting to feel a lot clearer, but there's a lot more you can do inside Descript. So I'm just going to go back to this captions layer here. And you come back up to the settings up in the top right-hand corner here. So we've got these captions. I've got these little dots here. So I'm going to click on these 3 little dots. And I've got the option to show all, which is what it's doing at the moment. So if I just change this to, say, Paul Billington. So let's have a look how that looks now. So I was going to play from the start here. So, Andy. Hello, Andy. So I was doing a little bit of digging on you because I thought we've got a guest on. We've got a guest on, Paul.
We do have a guest on, yeah.
I thought we've got a bloody guest on.
You've got to be so now.
So you have to do a little bit of research for your guest. You can see there. It's only showing the captions for Paul because we've set captions to only be for Paul Billington. So if I just jump back onto this other layer, the title, and have a look at the settings for that, you'll see on the title, the speaker is actually set to show all, which is exactly what we want. We want it to show each person speaking. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add in another captions layer, this time for Anthony. So if I come back up to the top here, add in some captions. You'll see another layer appear. And you can see that it's actually taken the settings from my last one. So it's used Babas, which is great. So, and then we know what we need to do. We need to come up to the top right here, do the drop down, and just change this to Anthony. It's on show all at the moment. So I'll just change that to Anthony. So now when I hit play, if I've done my job right, we should see captions for Paul Billington. Because we set one up for him, and we should see ones for Anthony, but not for Martin Riley. So here we go. So I was doing a little bit of digging on you because I thought we've got a guest on. We've got a guest on, Paul.
We do have a guest on, yeah.
I thought we've got a bloody guest on.
You've got to be so now.
So you have to do a little bit of research. Okay, great. So we're just going to do the same again. Going to add in a new caption. So back up to the top here, go into here, add captions. And then we make sure we're on that captions layer, and we're going to go to here, and we're going to change it to Martin Riley this time. So now we have a layer for each person, so now we should see all of them. Let's just have a listen. Guest.
And I'm not like Andy, so I'm going to turn my camera off so I don't distract myself.
Okay. Andy likes looking at himself. I'm sorry, Andy. I promised I wouldn't do this.
I'm going to have to turn it. Oh, yeah, you can't. You can't. Yeah. Do that.
So there we go. We've got one for each person. You can't really tell because they're all the same style. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to just quickly name these layers because you might notice at the moment we've got captions, title, captions. And without going back and checking the settings each time, I've got no idea which one's which. What you want to do is just click somewhere in this grey space here so you've not got a layer selected. And you'll see now up in this top right-hand side, you have layer names. So from memory, I'm just going to right click and rename this Anthony, just AA. I'm going to rename this one as speaker, SP. I'm going to rename this one as Paul Billington. And I'm going to right click and rename this one as MR, Martin Riley. Okay, so now that's a little clearer about which one is which. You can also change the audio if you want to. So maybe I'm just going to right click on the speaker layer and I'm maybe going to send that to the back. There we go. So now I've got down here, so I've got my speaker layer. I've got Anthony captions, Paul Billington captions, Martin Riley captions. Okay, so now just to change the style for each one. So let's do Andy first. So I'm going to click on my AA layer underneath Anthony. Don't be confused that it says Paul Billington. That's just showing where it is in the script at that particular moment. So what we need to do first, because we're editing the underneath Anthony layer, is get ourselves to a bit of text where underneath Anthony's speaking. So I'll just find this bit here, underneath Anthony. So if we have a look again at these tools again in the top right hand corner and come down a little bit, we have this thing called style. So if I click on where it says classic, you have these three options: clean, classic, karaoke. For this, I'm going to go karaoke because I think it works really well. So if we click karaoke, and we won't do the rest of the settings just yet. Let's just have a look, see if that's done something to Andy's. So I'm just going to hit play now.
That is definitely me, because that's that.
And you can see what's happening now. We've got a bit of colour highlighting each word.
Because that's all true. I haven't fucked around with that at all.
So we could now just do exactly the same thing for Paul Billington. So I'll click on Paul. I'll find a bit of Paul text. Let's just scroll up here. Here's Paul. And I'm going to click on classic, do the drop down, change that to karaoke. And I'm going to click on Martin. Layer here. Find a little bit of Martin talking. Talk about myself in the third person. So here's a bit of Martin talking. Going to click on classic and change that to karaoke. So let's just have a look how that looks now. So, Andy. Hello, Andy. So I was doing a little bit of digging on you because I thought we've got a guest on. We've got a guest on, Paul.
We do have a guest on, yeah.
I thought we've got... And you can see the mistake I made there. So every single layer has got the same colour. So let's come up to the top here, pick my layer, Martin Riley layer. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick a colour for each speaker. So if I come over here on the right again, you'll see under style, we've got a colour option. And that is the blue that it's highlighting my words in. So I'm just going to click on that. And I'm going to change that to, let's say, green. Okay, so this is the Martin layer. Now, you'll notice you didn't see that change happen. This is because I'm on a bit of underneath Anthony text. So let's just go right back up to the top because I know I start this one. And there you'll see. So if I hit play now, we should see green text for me. So, Andy. Hello, Andy. So this is great. So I just need to do the same. So for Paul Billington, I'm going to pick a purple. And for underneath Anthony, I'm going to pick red. Okay, so now when we play this, it should make a lot more sense. Here we go.
I'm not like Andy, so I'm going to turn my camera off so I don't distract myself.
Okay. Andy likes looking at himself. I'm sorry, Andy. I promised I wouldn't do this.
I'm going to have to turn it. Oh, yeah, you can't. You can't do that.
So I've not got my text sorted out properly, so you probably have a hard time hearing. So now you can see I've got an individual colour for each person speaking, and the speaker name changes along with the script. That works really well, I think. I think you can see visually who's speaking really simply. You can pick a colour. There's loads more you can do style-wise. It's got loads of options, but that's the basics of it. And you'll see, if you see the Meat Puppets YouTube channel, which you're probably watching this on, I imagine, you can see there's loads more that you can do. And this will obviously evolve as we go on and as Descript gets better and better. So that is one of the really useful tools that Descript has for turning a transcript into video really, really easily. Have a play, see what you can come up with, try and find your own style. But yeah, I really like it. Cheers.